Me, 28, and my sister, 28, are twins and were up until a couple of years ago very close. In high school, I was the kid that everyone bullied, and one guy, in particular, was the worst of all. He did more than anyone else to make my primary and high school years. We went to school together from 5 years old until 18, a living hell. In addition to the daily taunting, he intentionally caused me to break my arm, pushed me into the concrete while we were playing rugby on the adjacent grass, and gave me multiple black eyes, one of which caused a retinal detachment which required a scleral buckle to fix. Needless to say, I hate him and everything to do with him. My sister started dating him a couple of years ago, and during this time I've made it no secret how much I resent him. Despite this, my sister has gone ahead with this relationship, and at the cost of whatever our relationship meant to her. They recently announced their engagement and my sister sent me a letter saying she hopes I will get over my grudge and attend her wedding. I replied by writing a very lengthy email that can basically be summed up as: life is short, and I don't want to spend it in the presence of people that made my youth a living hell. By getting engaged to name, you've made it clear that is impossible unless I cut you out of my life. Please do not contact me, my wife, or our children again. You're no longer welcome in our home. Parents were quick to swing by our house and reprimand me for being so harsh and childish. Dad specifically used the phrase freaking idiot. Hence why I figured I'd ask here, am I the idiot here? Have skipped over a lot of details about the extent to the bullying due to the 3,000 character limit. Not the idiot, holy crap. First off, what the actual hell is wrong with your parents? Have they not seen the results of you being bullied? Aka, the black eyes, the broken arm, and much more I presume. It almost sounds like they were ignoring some serious issues back then. And your sister, if the guy actually changed, why didn't she push him to apologize, or rather beg for forgiveness? And does she even remotely realize that this might just nullify her bond with you knowing what he did to you? Not the idiot. I still remember the names of the kids who bullied my sister in elementary school and would never personally associate with them. I know she feels the same about my middle and high school bullies. Your sister is acting like a selfish, nasty person who only cares about herself, and your parents are being awful for choosing her bad choices over your completely valid wariness of a man like that. Personally, the betrayal of family in favor of someone who hurt me so badly would be almost worse than the physical abuse he put me through. Not the idiot. The bullying you describe is serious physical assault, and it seems to have caused a lot of physical harm to you. Your sister either doesn't value her relationship with you or has no respect for you. She saw what kind of damage he was doing to you and still just classifies your feelings as a grudge. Your parents are also idiots for not supporting you in your decision. They also saw what he did to you, and I'm shocked that they don't resent the guy who was repeatedly assaulting their son. I'm 32, she's 34. We're not close, like at all. Prior to my wedding, I last saw her when I was 24. We don't talk online, we're not friendly with each other, but it was a familial obligation to invite her to my wedding 2 months ago. Why we're not friendly is another story, but I'll keep this post on topic. My sister has epilepsy. She has seizures infrequently. However, my mother and I believe she exaggerates them. She has admitted to faking seizures in the past to get out of obligations. When we all lived at home, a seizure was her ticket out of chores or things of that nature. That's not to say they're not sometimes genuine, we just know she has faked them before. And according to her husband, it happens even now. If she has to change a diaper, she pulls the "I feel one coming on, I feel faint" card. Since no one knows when they're genuine or not, her husband accepts them at face value. At our wedding, she had 4 seizures. One just as she arrived to announce her presence, I guess. One as I'm reading my vows. Then when everything is back up and running, one during the pivotal kiss. And it was violent, loud, caused a very large commotion, basically putting the wedding on standstill for 10 minutes. Then finally one as everyone is leaving the church. I rolled my eyes hard and figured she was playing a cruel game, so I called 911, had an ambulance over despite her objections, and she was brought to the hospital. If she's having 4 seizures in the span of an hour, it must be serious, right? In the moment, I believed them all to be fake, some joke at my expense, and I didn't want her here anymore. I still believed they were fake. Was I the idiot? I didn't want her there to begin with, but I thought I'd extend an olive branch and be the bigger person and try to make amends, but her actions only made us further apart. My wedding was genuinely ruined. My mother was upset, I was upset, and of course, my wife was upset. Some of my other family think I'm the idiot for calling them fake, not necessarily for getting her out of the venue. Not the idiot. Calling the ambulance was the right thing to do. If someone is having that many full-on seizures in such a short time span, they need immediate help. My sister's in college, have a roommate who gets seizures semi-regularly, and whenever she gets one she's out of commission for an hour or two, and usually takes the rest of the day off to recover. Those kind of things, when they're authentic, completely sap you physically. If she was able to handle 4 seizures in an hour and didn't want to be seen at a hospital for it. Not the idiot. I used to work at a care home for epilepsy sufferers who also had other mental illnesses. If you have 4 seizures in 1 hour, then it's definitely dangerous and will require at least specialized medication. And they were big ones, people noticed. Loads on epilepsy sufferers can have teeny tiny seizures that last for 3 or 4 seconds and are barely noticeable. Even these need to be monitored. She can't say a word because you did your due diligence by calling an ambulance, and she has to live with the guilt of wasting emergency services time. Not the idiot. My sister was diagnosed epileptic when she was 3 years old. She has pretty mild absent seizures, very rarely, but she literally ends up with the worst migraine and needs to sleep it off for 10 hours. If she had 4 seizures in a matter of minutes, you bet your back I would be calling an ambulance. Your sister is using her disability to get attention, no matter the situation. I'm so sorry she did this to you on your wedding day. And the fact that she was all "no, I'm fine" just proves this. First, some info. I live with my roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment. I work night shifts, so I don't know who he brings home at night. He works a regular daytime job, so we barely see each other or talk. He has had a long-term sweetheart girlfriend that I know personally. Now for the main part. Around 10 a.m., so at a time I was sound asleep, I heard an insistent knocking, followed by my phone blowing up, followed again by knocking, and so on. I go open the door, and there's my roommate's girlfriend, looking like she ran here. I'm not very friendly when rudely awoken, so I just barked "what?" She apologized 1,000 times and asked if she can get a pendrive she gave her boyfriend, and that it is very urgent cause she forgot to copy something that was on it. I admit I was barely listening, but she looked in a hurry, and I just wanted to go back to sleep, so I let her. My friend is not a tidy person exactly, so I wasn't surprised when she couldn't find it on the desk and just started going through his stuff. I just went to living room and sat on the couch until she finally left the room. I kinda fell asleep, so I don't know how long she was there. She acted weird when she woke me to close the door. I asked if she has everything cause I am not leaving the bed again, and she just said that she is not coming back for sure, and I just let her out and locked the door and went back to sleep. Later that day I'm at work and my phone is blowing up and it's my roommate, weird cause he never calls me at work. I call him back when I have a sec thinking someone died or something, and he's screaming and crap. Long story short, cause that was a really long and confusing convo. He brought some girl home, as he apparently sometimes does, did the deed, and she left some evidence behind that he didn't bother throwing out because he never expected anyone to go through his crap, much less the girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend broke up with him later the same day, and he blames me for her finding out and ruining the relationship. So like, am I the idiot? I mean, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have let her in or should watch her do what she did, but I was sleep deprived and I didn't know he even was hiding something, you know. Not the idiot. The reason you let her in wasn't that she wanted to snoop through his stuff, she just needed something she gave him, urgently. That was a legitimate reason for you. As for who the idiot is, it's very clear that it's the cheater. He ruined the relationship himself. If one of the partners is cheating, the relationship is already ruined, whether both of them know it or not. You saved the girl from wasting more time in that sham relationship. Not the idiot. 100% not the idiot. Roommate, however, is 1000% idiot. He was cheating on his girlfriend, apparently repeatedly. If he didn't want you to allow his actual girlfriend in, for whatever reason, he should have told you. He stupidly left evidence of his wrongdoings, easily findable. Great for his poor ex-girlfriend who is at least no longer being cheated on, but bad for him and entirely preventable by a little careful cleanup or giving you a heads up. You had zero other reason to not trust letting her in. Not the idiot. Like, not even remotely. You assumed that your roommate, who is I imagine in a long-term relationship with this girl, needed something urgently that she left behind. You let her in cause. Why would you assume it's not okay unless your roommate says otherwise, which I assume he hasn't. He chose to cheat and got caught. She would have eventually found out and dumped him anyway. Your roommate is an idiot in this situation 100%. Husband has worked at the same company his entire career and has been assigned to work weekends since shortly before our son was born. Over the years he has made many proposals to get a Mon-Friday schedule and has also looked for new jobs several times. He is highly employable but always finds a reason to not change jobs. Ultimately, I think he has a fear of the unknown, and that is what prevents him from making a change. Our son's greatest joy in life is competitive sports, which makes our lives extremely busy. Since husband works weekends, the bulk of the sports burden falls to me. I don't mind, because sports are important to our son. But it's hard. Husband often has to go into work at 5 a.m. and work until midnight so he can attend the games, so I'm basically a single parent on the weekends. It's not just about the sports, of course, it's not ideal for our family life in general. I have been honest with my husband and that I support his right to do what he wants with his career, but that I struggle with not being resentful over the added stress and chaos caused by his job. Recently, I ran into a minor scheduling conflict. Our son had a scheduled practice that overlapped with my sister's milestone birthday dinner. I determined that son and I would go to the first half of practice and then leave to go to the dinner. Husband felt strongly that son should stay for the entire practice, which would make us over an hour late for the dinner. I explained my reasoning, but he kept pressing it. Finally, I told him that, because he works weekends, the burden of scheduling every practice, or playdate or social obligation falls to me, and if he doesn't agree with how I manage, that he needs to get a different job so he can actually participate in the process. If I am on my own to make everything happen, then I get the final word. Husband backed off and told me he agreed it should be my decision, but I'm left feeling a little crappy that I had to go there, if that makes sense. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If he had no other choice in his job, I'd feel differently. But it's his choice to leave all the scheduling and parenting to you. Also, seriously, it's 1 hour of one practice. Balance and family are important, so your son should be there for his aunt's birthday dinner. Your husband is, as you said, free to make his own job decisions, but when those decisions impact the entire family, you get a say. I think the bigger issue is his unwillingness to really look for a new job. Not the idiot. He really needs to change jobs so that he can be more involved with his kid and take some load off his wife. No company or job is worth causing family stress at home. I began job hunting when our second kid came along because there was no way my wife would put up with wrangling 2 small kids every weekend morning while also working a Mon-Friday job herself. Management had a Pikachu-shocked face when I quit and rejected all counter offers after they repeatedly turned down my more weekends requests. As a coach for 2 youth sports and a father of 2 no idiots here. Dad is right about fulfilling obligations, but also you are trying your best to fulfill those obligations by going to half of practice. You are doing your best in balancing everything, and not everyone would even attempt half practice. That's the coach opinion. The father opinion is you are the one taking them practice and games. You get to make the call on when, where, how, and why that happens. He does obviously have a say in the matter, but at the end of the day, it falls on you. Keep up the good work and please don't feel like crap. My brother-in-law saw one of those stupid videos where they destroy the video game console in front of the child to teach him a lesson. I heard him planning on doing that to my nephew because he failed 2 courses at school. He is 12. I tried talking them out of it, telling them that's not the way, sell it, hide it, whatever, just don't do it. That was my point. I told my nephew what they were going to do and asked him not to overreact, just tell them you are disappointed or something that makes them feel bad. If he brings his grades up, I will get him a new PS4, but I want his stupid parents to feel guilty. Last week, my brother-in-law sat in a chair, have a couple of idiots friends holding him, and proceed to destroy the PS4 with a baseball bat while laughing and yelling and recording. My nephew had a poker face, did not move at all, and whispered something and laughed. His dad stopped, asked everybody to shut up and asked him, "What? Why are you laughing about?" My nephew said, "You humiliated me, you took something that was mine and humiliated me in front of everybody." You are bigger, stronger, but everybody is helpless when they are asleep. I am laughing because everybody is helpless when they are sleeping. If you are done, I want to go inside, there's something I need to think about. He had an entire week to prepare what to say, and this is what he came up with, and his delivery was freaking scary. I was speechless, everybody was shocked. I said out loud, "Good parenting everybody, good job," and went after my nephew. I spoke with my nephew afterward, and he said that he will tell no one I had told him, and he has no plans on doing anything to his parents at all. He just wants to teach him a lesson as I suggested. Now, my sister booked an appointment with a psychologist. They are sleeping with locks on their doors and caused a family crisis. And I feel like an idiot because I just have to tell them what I did to patch things, but honestly, I just want to see where this is going. Not the idiot. That's terrible parenting. I hate the whole throw presents into the fire when kids act up thing. No, how about you use actual discipline and natural consequences instead of being an idiot? A psychologist will probably be a good thing. Not because your nephew is actually going to do anything to the parents, but because if his dad had two friends hold him back to smash his PS4, laugh, and video it, he's gonna need someone to talk to know that is not normal behavior. If anything, he can tell the truth to the psychologist, and they can then speak to the parents about discipline in the future. Not the idiot. My parents thought it would be a good lesson and made me watch as they burned everything I owned. Twice. That crap screwed me up. Don't even remember what the first one was, but it was probably as trivial as watching Sailor Moon, because one of the characters was a lesbian, which was the reason for the second one. That crap's how you create a hoarder. Let them get a psychologist. Find out who it is, and go tell them what happened beforehand, so they don't think your nephew is a psycho, and ask them to talk to the parents as well. Not the idiot. It's funny the kid gets therapy for saying that, but the parents are fine to do messed up punishments. Destroy the console all you want for all I care, it is messed up, but the most freaked up part is them recording it and laughing while holding him down. What does that teach the kid? To be a damn psychopath. I know the kid was joking, but it's ironic that the kid gets therapy for saying what he did, because it is scary and creepy, but recording yourself laughing and destroying your kid's possession that they enjoy is perfectly fine.